walking down a winding road, I see the sun that glows in every crack, in every stone where wildflowers grow. The whispers of the wind, they tell a tale of time. Every broken heart's a lesson dressed in quiet rhyme. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. The river runs its course, it bends but never breaks, just like the choices that we make, the chances that we take. Silver thread through symphonies of sorrow and the words we've left unsaid. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low. Yo, it's the echoes of the past, the lessons in the cracks. We're patching up the holes in all the love we lack. Life's a dance, a crazy chance to waltz beneath the moon. Keep the rhythm steady, cause the dawn is coming soon. So take a bow and play your part, no matter how it stings. The world will turn, the tune will change, but love's what always clings. The violin, it softly cries, the stars begin to fall. Through tangled heartstrings we will rise, we'll conquer after all. Tangled heartstrings pull and tear, they guide us through the haze. Every note a melody that plays through all our days. Find the strength in every chord, the courage to let go. Life's a song we're writing slow through highs and every low.
Go-to phrase. Oh man, I don't like my generation. I guess it'd be
That's what she said.
that's not your generation.
Well, everyone says it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
As in relation, like if the vibe match, you got the partner right.
That part. There's multiple. So, like, that's dope, I guess.
That's
What we,
dope?
yeah, that's
Okay.
dope. Yeah.
Go-to phrase, probably lit, turn, fire. Yeah, I go with some of those.
Man, you're making me feel like I'm not in touch with my generation.
Uh, it's mostly regarding the space. Like a lot of people take space as in they're not interested. Like it is misunderstood between the partners as in a relation. So space is the most complicated thing in a relation that I get to see a lot.
Not that I can think of. Sorry. Demure. That demure. That one.
Okay.
I don't use that, but I just that's one.
Okay.
Demure.
I'm kind of an outlier because I work with kids and stuff like that. So like I'm kind of hip to everything. Okay. What kind of language can I use on this?
Anything.
All right. So a couple years ago when fuckboy came into the vernacular, when I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Fuckboy was the ultimate insult. Fuckboy was we're gonna fight. I'm gonna go hands, feet. We're taking this to the grave. Yeah. And then I heard a girl call a boy a fuckboy because he didn't call her back, and I was like, how did we get here? Like, did he kill your mother or something like that? He just didn't text you back, and now he's a fuckboy. So that was confusing for me. But everything else now, I'm pretty up to date. I'm pretty hip.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, how's
Those
it
were some
going?
crazy man on the street questions this week. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Have you ever had someone tell you they are sending an email and then you receive a text message? You know, that generational gap in technology. It's crazy. I come from the generation where we didn't have phone cameras. Like, there's no proof of what we did. Now, you just a few years later after me, there's a lot of proof of what you guys did, and you guys are proud of that. You guys posted that shit everywhere.
Yeah, I think for us it's a little different.
It is. It's totally different. I'm just glad I was that generation without the proof of how crazy we were. The field parties, the racing on the streets. You guys have proof of that stuff. We don't, thank goodness.
You guys got proof it's hidden somewhere.
It is. And we're back this week. Are you guys ready? TJ, you ready to start?
Of course. We're always starting off with some juicy man on the street questions, and that question right there was even juicy for me.
It was crazy. How do you feel about this like generation gap? How do you So it's different for you because you have the smartphones, you were part of that internet generation, and I was not. Like, internet started when I was like, I don't know, 12, but you had it all through school. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think now the more in technology we get, the smaller the age gap is. In a sense, like for me, it's 5 years. I can't go 5 years below. I won't go 5 years above. Just because it is that completely different group after about 5 years. It's like, looking at things, you're like, your brain rot. You can leave that brain rot stuff to you. But for the older ladies, I'm like, hey, I can teach you some new things. You don't know what BRB is. I can tell you what BRB is.
That BRB, the whole thing with the LOL though, that gets me because a lot of the older generation, they think LOL means like lots of love when it's really laugh out loud. Like, I've never mistaken that. Thank goodness I'm not that cringy for my children. But I mean, that laugh out loud and lots of love. It gets me. It's in memes all the time.
That is hilarious. That is the first time I've ever heard that, and
Really?
it makes me think back to the AIM days. I know everyone had an aim, so it's like, is that what everyone was thinking back then too?
Maybe.
Lots of love before they were like signing off for their aim.
Oh yeah, because it did start all the way back with AOL.
Yeah,
Because
it's like,
the
well,
short text was so much easier on phones. Yeah. So do you remember, since we're talking about this generation gap in technology and everything, do you remember T9 texting?
ooh, that might be too much for me. Maybe if you could explain it a little bit, I could understand it.
Okay, so with T9 texting, like now you have a keyboard on your phone, it's on your screen of your phone.
Oh yes.
So with T9 texting, it was like with those old flip phones, and you had to like press number 1. Oh gosh, hold on, I've got to pull my phone out because I don't even remember. So if you get 1, you have to press, in order to press the B, you have to press 2 twice in order to get to it. And then you have to press, let's say we're saying the word B. So, and then we press 2 twice, and then you have to press 3 twice in order to get the word B instead of just typing in BE. So it's like T9 texting. It's crazy.
That is hilarious. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I never knew there was a name for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that there was a name for it. So now I'm gonna go back to my friends and be like, "Hey, you guys remember T9?" And they're probably not gonna remember it.
No, probably not.
I want to say that was only around for me for about a year before the Sidekick came out and the BlackBerry, and everybody was using the walkie-talkies application on Sprint.
Oh yeah.
So that's I was right at the cusp of the end of that.
The end of the end of the walkie-talkies. Okay, so we totally had the walkie-talkies too.
Yeah, I think that was also a very interesting era because, like, you get like this chirp and everyone was like, "What was that?" And it's like, "Oh, it's my grandma walkie-talking me to come home."
Right, and then you have like the whole change in technology, which changes in the sizes of your phones. It changes in the sizes of like, but we're talking about people in technology tonight. So, what was the hardest thing when technology got bigger for you to learn?
For me, I want to say the functionality of the internet in a sense, because we didn't have too much teaching about it. Of course, like people had dial up before us, but they also knew how to use the internet. Whereas for me, it was more of the navigation of being secure and safe on the internet, and because for me, I was just like looking up everything. I mean, as far as it would go, I would go mini clips, but nothing further than that though. And then MySpace popped up, and I was like, oh, now it's a new thing. Let me go ahead and venture off. So it was always about just the safety, security of being on the internet and what I posted. So today, I probably have pictures out there circulating from 2009.
People don't even think about that. People don't even think about that anymore when they post. Like back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, we were thinking all about what we were posting, and we knew it was going to be on the internet forever, and we cared that it was going to be on the internet forever. And we would truly think about what we're posting. But today, people just don't care. I mean, I honestly don't care what I post anymore. I know it's going to be there when I'm gone, and I'm okay with that. But a lot of people don't understand that. And that's, moving through the technology, our terms of service on a lot of our social medias, we don't even read them. We don't know who is getting our information. We don't know where our information is going anymore. Who's going to sit there and read through the terms of service in order to find out where our stuff on social media is going? Nobody's going to sit there and read through that 100-page letter, and that's what they want.
I mean, to simply write a reply, we don't even have to completely know how to spell a word. I mean,
Right.
the text is just given to you now. It's come a long way.
I mean, you can press a button on your phone now today and just start talking to it, and it's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear back.
Or what you're thinking.
Or what you're thinking. Exactly, because it listens to everything. Are you turning all your mics off on all of your apps?
You know, I am not one to turn on locations for apps, but I didn't know I needed to turn off my microphone. I got to go back and correct all that.
Oh yeah. So if you don't want them to like listen, that's why you get those pop-up ads on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. You'll be talking about, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go buy this new blender, you know, the Ninja whatever. And two seconds later, you pop open Facebook and you've got the Ninja whatever on your Facebook feed. So I mean, they're listening to you. It's not that they're listening to everything that you're saying, but AI is listening to you, so they know what ads to give you. So you're purchasing the things that you're talking about.
I mean, it's crazy to think about AI. Now people are just using AI as responses in dating. It's like, if a girl texts you, "Hey, good morning," I'm going to send her a 5-page AI poem nowadays.
Get that chat GPT going.
Yeah, just keep it rolling all day for the full conversation.
Exactly. Wizzy says boomers be like, don't trust online banking. Meanwhile, Cash App requests sent.
Oh yeah, every day.
It's deadly. It is so deadly, especially when you have children. Because I have gone back and looked at what I have sent my kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've sent that much. Because they'll be like, Mom, can you pop me $20? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then you go back 3 months later and you see that balance of those $20 requests. And you're like, holy shit. No wonder my bank account is, you know, dwindling slowly.
I mean, it's even worse now. You know, people are committed to stocks on Cash App
Yeah.
and all of these banking apps and Robinhood. And it's like, how do you even know that's actually what is reflected at Wall Street? Like, is this really what the influx is?
Oh, I don't even think about that because we don't do like I won't do Bitcoin or anything like on anything other than crypto.com. That's the only thing I use. Sorry that we are not sponsored. I should not have said the full name.
Well, I'm wondering what happened to the days where you actually used to call the Wall Street guy. We're far away from that.
Exactly. I mean, we're using all of these banking apps that are quick banking, online banking, and you know, 20 years ago, you would have never ever thought about using technology to bank. You went to a bank, you spoke to a person. Yes, they used to do that. There used to actually be people in the bank to speak to. You would speak to a person and you would, you know, deposit cash or a check, and you weren't going to ATMs. ATMs weren't that popular then.
Yeah, I think it also shows how, you know, penny stocks aren't even real anymore. I mean, these penny stocks are larger than life now. So
Yeah, but
invest in what you can, guys.
only what you can, never more than what's extra. And don't take away from your social time either. I promise.
Oh man, and I'm thinking about, you know, relationships in a sense, how easy it is for your wife to just, you know, wire money to herself through a banking app.
Yeah, before you would have to go and get a check signed by your husband or your significant other. You go get your check signed and then you go to the bank and get it cash. And now you can just easily transfer money like so easily. You can send a PayPal request, a Cash App request. You know, you can use all of these Chime, whatever. You can use all of these small online banking to do everything we do in a regular bank now because we don't even get normal people in the regular bank anymore.
Yeah,
Unless you're part of a credit union and then you actually get people.
yeah, the carbon footprint on the internet for singles is pretty immense, but I think it's larger when you're married and have children.
Oh, absolutely. Precious, absolutely. Go ahead. Throw your questions in, guys. If we don't see your question and you think it's important, go ahead and send it to tangled at ld3productions.com. And hopefully we can get that in the chat at some point. Absolutely. Send your questions to me. I love answering them. Okay, then I have a question for you guys. In viewing, what is your biggest problem with this generational gap with technology? And even phrases, like we had a man on the street question. TJ, what is your phrase that most confuses you about this new generation?
Oh man. Well, it doesn't confuse me because I have my own meaning to it, but it's always the one that is turned. Everyone's like, that's so turned, or like that's so lit or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, does turnt mean like it was like extremely fun, or was it like a minuscule fun and you're just over exaggerating right now? That's the one that gets me a lot. How about you, Mia? What's your generational phrase that gets you?
All of them. I'm like, just speak like a normal person. I yell at my kids all the time when they use these phrases, especially like the newer ones. Oh my gosh. Skibbity was the one that really got on my nerves. That skibbity toilet and all of those little phrases that came from him. Oh my goodness. It was so irritating to me. I'm like, can you just please talk normal? You know, like your mom taught you how to talk when you were a toddler. Don't use these crazy words. But I was big on saying like it's the bomb and that's my generation. That shows my age so bad. But that was my big phrase, was like it's the bomb. And even back then, your parents didn't understand what you were talking about. And that's why we call them generational phrases, but they come back. You know, like lit. That was like something in the 90s. Now they're talking about things being lit. Hopefully they don't talk about things being, going to get crunk or anything like that.
Or one that hits a lot is I'm hip.
Right? Oh yeah. I'm like,
We
no.
used to frown upon that.
Right?
Now it's just trending everywhere. Everyone's like, I'm so hip to this, I'm so hip to that.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, no. We can't. I don't like these. I don't like using the phrases. Like, but with my accent, it sounds like sometimes I'm using phrases and I'm not. And I get made fun of all the time. But that's okay.
Actually,
Okay. God Drake
Madison hit on something I'm pretty scared of out there, and that's that brain rot.
yeah.
Kids are doing brain rot now. Anything brain rot.
What does that mean?
Don't ask me. I won't get near it.
Okay.
But apparently, it's things that just aren't meant to be together that are like being put together.
Okay.
Like there's like animals they're putting together with like human parts. It's very weird, like a banana man or something like. Trust me, my mind is. You go brain rot thinking about it or try to explain it.
Okay, so we'll just leave that one back. And any time my kids talk about that, I'd be like, nope, we're done.
Yeah,
So done.
it's just things that make you dumber.
Technology ruined everything, but also can't live without WhatsApp family groups.
Oh,
okay. So this is a big one for me. WhatsApp is not a very safe app. That is not something I would really use with my family. The best thing to do, and this is just my opinion, you do what you need to do or what you think is best for your family. But I think creating a group chat on your phone is probably the best thing to do. Using outside apps gives access to your children for other people to have access to your children. And I don't think that's very safe. So by using the technology that is already given to you from your phone provider and using the text feature and creating a group would probably be much, much better than using any outside app. Just my personal opinion, guys.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, if you have a straight direct, it's like landlines. You have a straight direct connection to your family simply by just using a phone number. It's actually safer on that because the FBI can actually be able to say someone went missing in your family. They could actually be able to track them down. Whereas for WhatsApp, they will not be able to retrace where a message is coming for or where it's being sent to, because there's so much scramble behind these outside apps like Telegram and WhatsApp and things of that nature.
Those are great if you guys are communicating with your friend group, though, and you don't want your kids to see the messages. Don't ever hide them from your significant other or your partner, please. But if you're doing like group messages or anything like that, those apps are great for that. Or for your social media, using those that type of technology for your fans and everything to contact you through social media, that's great. But to have your kids on something like that is just giving other people access to your children. That's not necessary.
Hey, since we're actually on this topic with technology and age gaps here, there's a great question that came from Scott Drake that says, "Can long distance relationships really work in 2025?" And I think yes, with all of this technology and being able to connect to people so easily, you should be able to communicate with your partner very very fluently, but also effectively through just different means and mediums. I mean, if you guys want to just DM each other and text each other, you can do that. If you want to use FaceTime, shoot, even Zoom is a thing to just set up a Zoom date. You can do that. I love I love that Netflix has this connection piece where you can do a Netflix party, and you guys can literally just binge watch movies together or TV shows together. There's plenty of ways to connect. That yes, a long distance relationship should really work in 2025.
I agree with you. 2025 and the technology that we have today. But I will say in the 90s, it didn't really work because it was snail mail. Early 90s, it was snail mail. So today, you have the ability to take your phone with you to a restaurant and your partner to take their phone to the restaurant. Maybe not the same place, but you guys can sit there and actually have a date night and eat together. You can use FaceTime. Snapchat has the call feature. There are plenty of apps out here. And the fact that with Snapchat, you can send those spicy photos and not really have to worry about anybody else accessing them. And of course, keep them in a private folder on your phone that is password locked.
Yes, yes. And
Absolutely.
don't let the phones get in the way. I mean, Drake, I see you have another question here that's talking about social media ruining relationships. You shouldn't let these apps and other distractions get in the way. I mean, we still have face to face personable time where we can effectively grow our bond. Leave those outside of that. When it is time to speak with your partner and create a stronger bond, make it distractionless.
I agree. Uh, but I think it's personal when it comes to social media and affecting our relationships. The fact that there are so many creators out there that have homes, that have spouses, and they're posting online, and whether the same sex or opposite sex are liking the photos or whatever, their partners are getting upset about it. But these people are not out here to steal your partner from you. I promise you that. These people are out here to make money on social media. Just because your partner's following somebody doesn't mean that they're cheating. Just because your partner is liking photos or, sounds, or maybe they're slightly less dressed, or maybe they're in a bikini, but that doesn't mean that your partner's cheating. That just means your partner enjoyed that video. I think it causes problems when you start having problems with those things. But we have to remember that these creators are not out here to steal our partners. They're 100% out here to post funny content or sexy content or whatever it may be to have a means of living and make money. They're not out here to steal your partners, guys. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's just not what's happening.
Yeah, and I think that's really what gets lost with these age gap relationships. A lot of people,
Absolutely.
a lot of people tend to think that, with the older generation, they're like, "Oh, you're on your phone so much, you really aren't giving me the attention that I deserve." And then with the younger generations, it's like maybe you're just hiding a lot of things on your social media from me. How
Right.
can I get through to you?
Okay, one last question before we move on, and I have a question for you after this. So Nelson is asking what's worse, cheating emotionally or physically? And I really want to answer this question because once you cheat physically, you've already cheated emotionally. So not one is not worse than the other. If you are emotionally cheating, eventually the physical cheating is going to happen. So first you emotionally cheat on your partner because you're looking for somebody else and you're trying to create that connection with that person. And then the physical cheating comes later. So there's not one that is necessarily worse than the other. They coincide one and one together. Once you've been emotionally cheated on, the aspect and unless it is addressed and the communication is there and you're like, hey, this shit hurt, we need to fix this, the physical cheating can come on later. So I really think that I don't think one is worse than the other because of the fact that they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There is, a very thin line between the two that people mistake. There is the emotional part that plays a very big role in your relationship, but the physical part is what is added on to that emotional attachment.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Like I promised, it's that time. I've got a question for you, and this is going to be our next MOS question. Sugar daddy, sugar mama, or sugar baby? What's your desire and why? And don't forget to stay tuned to see what all of our buddies had to say during our MOS questions.
Oh heck, sugar mama. I'm trying to find one. Do you know any? Point me in the direction.
I would rather want a sugar mama. I would obviously want someone who can look after, so I'll have to put in less efforts. I guess this is my type of thing that I like.
Sugar baby. This question. Okay. I'll say sugar mommy because that means I have the money. I don't gotta depend on nobody else. So
Uh, I could have got a little bit of sugar. Oh, yeah, I would have. I could have been with a sugar mom. Yeah.
I don't want to say I don't want to work because I'm not lazy. I do enjoy to work. I just want I want a boat. I want a boat that I just can go on the weekends with, and I didn't pay for it. That's pretty much what I want.
Nope, I don't want to work. Absolutely not. Sugar mom all the way.
Uh, all the things, if even it includes pampering and all the things, the efforts from the partner.
um, anything I can get
And why?
because it's available to me. Company, I guess. Traveling, nothing else.
Awesome. Have you ever thought about how it would be if you lived the life of a sugar baby? Or have you ever considered the other perspective of being a sugar mama or a sugar daddy? For me, I think I'd make a good sugar baby, for women at least, just based on the way I was raised. I was raised to not abuse the things that you have, the good things you have. I just don't think I'd have the balls to abuse the power. But I mean, once I get comfortable, then things might change. Um, Now, being a sugar daddy, that's a little tough to tell. But who knows? Maybe in later on in life, uh, I'll find the right one to be a sugar daddy to. Probably after my marriage and maybe when my wife dies. But right now, I'm just too stingy. But for you, what would be the dynamic in your sugar ship?
What do you think? I'm spoiled as it is. So, of course, I would want to be a sugar baby. But I'm too old to be a sugar baby. And that's okay with me because I already have my sugar daddy. So it's okay. That's how I look at it. But honestly, uh, maybe later in life, a sugar mama. I don't know. I don't know. I still like to be taken care of. I don't think I could take care of anybody. I need somebody to take care of me.
Yeah, it looks like everyone out there wants to be a little
That's
spoiled and be a
the thing.
sugar baby and sugar have a sugar mommy and sugar daddy. I mean, you guys just want to be pampered. I mean, no one wants to do the hard work. I don't think any of us wants to get out there on our bare hands and feet and be in the ground digging for that money. I think we're all willing to be pampered, and it's an interesting dynamic.
It is. It's an interesting dynamic and it's so taboo and people think that it's so wrong. But I mean truly, you have a young woman who knows what she wants in life. And then you have this older gentleman, and I'm just using this as an example because there are many dynamics to it. But you have this older man who has all of this money and he knows it's not going anywhere. He knows that. And then he finds this hot chick. Of course he's gonna spoil her rotten. So maybe she's not looking for that being spoiled rotten. It just falls into her lap. Do you know what I'm saying? We
That's
judge these people so hard, but why? Because it's really none of our business what they're doing. I mean, go catch that bag, go get that new diamond ring, and go for a ride on that yacht. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree. I think it's more often for women to be sugar babies rather than us gentlemen, and that's just because well, my upbringing, it was always like the man goes out and he gets the money, and he does what he needs to build the house. So it's like if there was the sugar ship relationship going on, it's like it's harder for us. Whereas for I know there's older women that are looking for younger men that can actually provide them that companionship and have the fun out there. But for women, it's a lot easier because they want them the younger.
No, I agree. I agree. They do want them younger, but there are actually young women who are very can take care of themselves and somebody else that are sugar mamas that take care of older men. There are so many aspects to that sugar mama, sugar daddy, and sugar baby that we just think of it as that age gap of, the older man and the younger woman. But that's not the case. There are young women taking care of older men or young men taking care of older women. We always think it's the opposite. And then we never look at that relationship. We see them walking down the street and you're like, "Oh, he's taking care of her," when really she's getting that bag and she's the one taking care of him and buying him the Ferrari that he's driving and the BMW that she's driving. You know what I'm saying? So we always take that aspect and be like, okay, well, he's taking care of her, but that's not the case.
So Mia, I've got a question right off the top of the back for you that's running through my head. What is the difference between sugar dating and sugar coating?
sugar coating, I think, is like it's that beginning that's throwing out the little crumbs of, hey, I'll take you to dinner, but you have to buy your outfit. And then next time I'll take you to dinner and buy you your outfit. It's slowly bringing them in to see how far they're willing to go and how needy they are. Because some of these sugar daddies don't want needy people. They want to be the one that says, hey, I'm going to go buy you a diamond ring, and not you come up and say, hey, daddy, I need $20,000. They don't want that. They want to offer you that $20,000. So they're coding you. They're trying to see and feel how this relationship is going to work in the beginning. That's my take on it.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm more of the sugarcoating man, where I'm just trying to see, how far you're willing to go without even me doing, too much for you. How much are you willing to endure? I'm not going to put you through the struggle where you're like out here starving, but I'm also not going to be like make you live lavish where you're like in Bali every weekend or something like that. Like, no,
I
I'm
think
going
a
to
lot
make
of
sure.
I think a lot of men do that, truly, and I think it should be done. We don't, and women should do it also. It shouldn't. If you are working, if you are both working, the date should not always be paid by the man. If you are in that dating stage, you should both be contributing to the dating aspect of it. Once you're committed, then it comes into, hey, I'll pay this week because I know that you're struggling this week. And then it becomes, hey, we'll figure out who's going to pay for who. But in the beginning, it should all be shared. That first date should go Dutch. We should all be sugarcoating. We shouldn't be giving all of ourselves in the beginning. We should be feeling out and seeing and communicating, my big word, and communicating what we like and what we dislike about the person.
Yeah, I see in the comments a lot of people saying that Gen Z, sees it as more of securing the bag, and that's what sugar dating is, I believe. And I
Right.
I see it. I say there is a very much an abuse of that power more nowadays because it's become so normalized, with OnlyFans and with other ways of sugar dating. There is so many people that are just abusing that power, and I say use it for your benefit. If it's working for you, keep going. But there is a point where there might be a downfall, and you're gonna have to find some way to recover.
I agree. I mean, there are points where they're being taken advantage of too. And then that's when it becomes a problem. It should always be a mutual relationship that is communicated effectively. It should never be more give than take or more take than give. It should always be a mutual communicatable situation, especially when it comes to how much money is involved with it. You have these smaller uh, sugar daddies that are throwing a few $100s here and there, and then you have these bigger sugar daddies and sugar mamas that are out here throwing tens of thousands of dollars at people. So it's all, you have to be in communication and be on the same page throughout it. And once the relationship's over, it's over, and you can't be upset about it because it was never based on love, it was always based on money. Now, if you fall in love with your sugar mama or your sugar daddy, that's okay too. Or maybe you fall in love with your sugar baby. As long as you guys are communicating that and it's not a one-way relationship, they don't know that you love them, or, you don't know that they love you. And you can tell when people like you more than when you're just dating. They do a little bit more for you at that point.
I'm laughing because Scott Drake has said he's not my sugar daddy, he's my investor. That's pretty and funny, but that is a direct representation of actually sugar dating, and it's I don't know how far and how long it's going to last, but people are going to start catching on to this, and once they start catching on, where do you think that these women that abuse the sugar dating circumstances, where do you think they're going to be?
Honestly, I don't know where they're going to be, but there are so many websites and forums that these true sugar daddies use that these women are getting blacklisted. They know all of their stage names. They know all of their aliases. They know their tactics. So on these sugar daddy websites, and forums, I'm sure they're getting blacklisted. Why would they want anybody else to suffer the pain that they went through? Maybe they've fallen in love with this person and they've realized that, hey, this isn't the relationship that's working for me, and realize that this person's taking advantage of them. And it's possible to take advantage in that type of situation, and it happens so often. But these sugar daddies learn the tactics that people use, and they're a little bit more conservative, and they coat a little longer than they would have in the beginning. So I mean, I don't think it's a lifestyle that I could truly live and be happy. I don't know. I'm sure that these women and these men out here are happy doing what they're doing, but I don't see it as being a fulfilling relationship. I see it as being a time consuming relationship. So, but I mean, to each their own, and I'm not judging you at all. If you are out here doing this, go for it. Do you, because I am 100%. You are only here for a short time, and it better be a good time.
Hey, and for all my boomers that are doing it, there is now the tea app out there, so feel free to use that. They're spilling all the tea on there. I'm not on there, luckily. I don't think Mia's on there either, so we are good to go. But definitely, you can find all the information you need to know if your sugar baby's on there. Then you'll find all the information you need to know about her. Hopefully, she's not.
Yeah, Scott, trust me, I have tried to get the Mia matchmaking going. I have been told absolutely not, but I mean, who knows what could happen in the future? I would love to do a matchmaking show. I will guarantee that every match I make is going to be an absolute fucking train wreck, but it will be fun. I promise you that.
Yeah, we just got another confirmation saying no.
Yes, we just got another confirmation that that would be a big no, unfortunately. Ah.
Yes. And I got to respond to all the ladies asking me to be their sugar daddy. Unfortunately, my applications are not open and probably won't be open for quite some time.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry, ladies, but I'm sure you can go ahead and join the forums and find you one out there.
Eventually, one day, we will have a Mia matchmaking show, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll just play the background on that one.
You'll
They'll
just play
call me.
background on that one? Okay.
I'll just be like Hitch, the guy that helps you with the background steps.
The guy that helps me with the background stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, that one. Awesome.
Hey, maybe what we could do is we could plan our own like Zoom event and do like a speed dating. I don't know, Mia. We got to talk about that one there.
Yeah, we'll have to. Maybe one day. All right. I do have a question though. So in this dynamic of the sugar baby, sugar mama, sugar daddy relationship, who do you think is more in charge? Do you think it is the one that is getting the monetary support or the one supporting monetarily? TJ, what do you think?
Whew, it's a toss up for that one. It's kind of whatever you want the dynamic to be. Whereas for some people, if they want the beneficial portion of it, the sugar daddies are usually the ones that aren't in charge. Where the sugar baby's like, hey, if you want this, you got to get this for me. You gotta give to get. Where then on the other side, it's like you also got to give to get. But it's really how the communication goes between the two. Who's willing to give more to accept what they need?
Uh, See, I think it goes both ways. I think in different aspects and different times that they both kind of hold that power. I don't think any one holds more power than the other in the relationship because there is a more of a give and take in this type of relationship than with a traditional marriage or a traditional relationship because you're always seeking to receive in this type. So you're always thinking of what can I do in order to get what I want. So in her and the sugar baby case, I won't say her because it's that the dynamic is so different. But they take and they're like, okay, so what can I do to get daddy to send me money? And then they go and they do whatever they need to do. Maybe it's sending pictures, maybe it's making sure that the house is clean. It's not always sexual. You know, they're making sure that the house is clean. They're cooking dinner. You know, they're doing all the wifely things, but they're getting paid to do these things basically. But it's not prostitution because they're also giving in this more too. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying. I mean, perfect example of that is Playboy. We all know that Hugh was too old to be sleeping with those younger girls. He probably couldn't get it up unless he had a blue chew. But but we know the aspect there was that there was an older gentleman with younger women who were he was benefiting off of their money that he was making from them taking pictures and doing naughty things in these pictures. And they were benefiting off of the money that he was using in the Playboy magazines to support their lifestyles. So yeah, I completely see where you were going with that.
They didn't get as much money as you think they did.
I know, but they had a house and a home to
Right,
live in.
they did. And that's another thing. You know, a lot of times these sugar babies are not necessarily living with their sugar daddies or sugar mommies, but they are getting a townhouse, a condo, an apartment. You know, they're getting not only their bills paid for, but they're also receiving gifts. And who doesn't want to receive gifts? Who doesn't want to live for free? I think if everybody in this world could choose, they would all choose Sugar Baby. To be honest.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm upset. There's no Playgirl magazine. You know, I'd be trying to be on the cover if I could.
There was at one point, I think.
Oh well, I need to do my research and figure out what how to get there, how to bring it back.
You can be in any magazine you want to be.
Yeah, GQ hit me up.
I'll stick to the video, not the print.
Hey, print's gonna last longer. That one might sell for a little heftier buck later on.
I don't know. With the data centers they're building around me, I think the videos will last longer. All right, guys, we have another question for you. Our next MOS question. We're gonna read it to you, and then we're gonna see what our friends think about it on our little date we had meeting them. All right. Does your family approve of an age gap relationship? And would you bring them into your friend circle? Would your family approve of you being in an age gap relationship? And would you bring them into your friend circle? We'll let you know what our friends think in just a second.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're fine with that. They'd be okay with that. Okay.
Yeah, like my family is pretty chill and they have allowed me for everything. They just told me like if there is any girl in your life, you can bring it to us and we'll directly just approve her.
Probably not. No. I've talked about it. They're like 10 years, because my dad has a wife who's like 10 years apart. Me personally, I wouldn't go that far, like max 7 years, but they're not against it.
I think anything within like 5 years, both ways would be comfortable. Outside of that, I wouldn't even be comfortable with that because there's so many like generational things, cultural things you kind of miss in that in between of age. So my family would probably be okay with it if I really loved and cared about that person, but that's not my own bad personally.
Well, am I dating up? Am I going up?
Either up or down, whichever way you
Well, if
go.
it's up, I'm bringing youth, exuberance. I can run.
Endurance.
Have it depends on how far up.
Yeah.
I have all my teeth. If we go too far down, I don't want to go too far down. Not too far. Age appropriate down. Maturity. Maturity. Yeah, obviously, as you can tell, a lot of maturity.
I'm pretty skillful in a lot of activities, like I dance and all. So I bring a lot of things as an activity that I can teach people. I can get the partners friend together and engage them in some sort of activities which they'll really like.
Okay.
So
You
these
want
are
to show
the
us a quick
skills.
dance move?
No, I'm kind of a guy who learns from the things. I'm not a choreographer.
Smart, charming, beautiful, caring. I'm very like God oriented, so I would talk about God and like have them also follow that same path with them and like just inform them about it.
Levity, some wisdom, I guess calm, and just try to have a good time. Make sure everybody feels safe and feels comfortable.
All right, guys, let's be honest. If you saw someone who looks significantly older kissing somebody younger, we would automatically judge them. We assume the person is grooming the younger one in the relationship, but have you ever thought that maybe the younger person is pursuing the older one in the relationship? Maybe they never planned for it to happen, it just did. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe they didn't plan for it to happen, but it just did. All the things clicked into place, compatible, communication is amazing, and they treat you the way you deserve. Who are we to judge? Why are we judging others' relationships? TJ, when you see somebody on the street that is significantly older holding somebody younger's hand, do you assume that they're in a relationship, or do you, oh, that's so sweet, the mom and son are out together, or the dad and daughter are out together?
Well, I gotta say, when I was younger, I was definitely the one to be like, "Oh, so sweet, mommy holding her son's hand." But now that I'm older, I question everything. I'm like, "Oh, you know, well, why are they together? Why isn't it me? Why couldn't I do that? Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, what would it take for me to get an older woman myself? Maybe I want that like we said earlier, that sugar mommy out there. How can I get that?
Honestly, it just happens. We never choose who we're actually going to be with. Things fall into place. Some people call it destiny, some people call it fate. But honestly, things just happen. You're in the right place at the right time and you meet the right person. You wonder why you can't meet that special person. It's probably because you're staying in that stationary spot. You're not going out and exploring and meeting people. I think it's, you meet somebody, you like their personality, you communicate great with them, and you fall in love with them. And sometimes that person is going to be older or younger than you. And that's okay. But we judge people so hard. Of course, we're not promoting any minor relationships or anything like that. We're talking about adults here. And I'm talking about adults as in 21 or older. Yes, you 18 and 19-year-olds are adults, but you still got some growing to do. I've got kids your age. It's fine. Trust me. You'll understand when you turn 21.
Yes, once you get that first drink on your lips, you're good to go.
Right?
No cheating and getting drinks before.
Exactly. So we're talking about 21 and older here, and we judge people so hard on who they fall in love with, but we don't look at, this person communicates with them well. This person loves to do things with them. They enjoy the same things. We may not find somebody that is the same age as us, that we get along with and we can communicate well with and we do the same things with, because our maturities are different too. So we have to take maturity into consideration here. You know, this 21-year-old that's dating this 40-year-old, maybe she's been through so much in her life that she's so mature, and she just can't do the drinking and the partying and all of that all of the other 21-year-olds do, and she can't find somebody because they're doing all of these things, and she wants more in her life, so she finds somebody that's older. And that's just what happens. And I'm not, it's going to sound like I'm bashing men, but I'm truly not. I really am not. But men mature much slower than women. So when we're 21, we're at that 40-year-old men's age. So we're on that same mature level. It's not that, gosh, how do I explain this? It's so difficult because it's so taboo.
No. I think you were on point there explaining it, and I can tell you from experience. I've experienced that myself. Whereas when I was 21, the 21-year-old girls weren't looking for the guys that were 21 because we were thinking at such a childish level of mentality. Whereas they were looking for the guy that was looking for forward in his career and looking how to elevate his life. Whereas at 21, I'm thinking about how to get my first drink and get some butane, rather than what am I going to be doing after college? What am I going to be pursuing in my lifestyle when I'm done with the age of 21? When I'm going to my 30s, and I think it's harder for guys to wrap their head around that because we are so influenced by what we were talking about earlier, technology, and being able to post on the gram that I got my first drink and I'm down in 8 beers tonight. Whereas girls, they're like, been there, done that, seen that, because they've investigated so hard in the older gentleman's lifestyle. Whereas now they're following the older gentleman and they're like, oh, this older gentleman's on the fact that maybe he's having aged wine that has been sitting in his cellar for quite some years, and then for that 21-year-old can never buy it.
Exactly. But not only that, the maturity is there, but they also have the money. A 21-year-old female is in her senior year of college, depending on when she graduated from high school. She's already thinking about, I'm ready to move on with my life. These college days are almost over. But these men I'm around here at college are so immature, and they're partying and going to frat parties and running around the campus naked, doing whatever. So they're looking at that. So, gentlemen, listen, open your ears, stop running around the parties, stop doing all of these things, and you can get women your age to like you. We want maturity. We want to see that you have aspirations for your life, that you're not going to be partying your entire life. You know what career you're going to be taking. So in order to get these young women to like you and be your age, you've got to show them ambition to get there. And that's why they're looking at these older gentlemen, and even some of these younger men because of the people that they're around. They're looking at this older woman and they're thinking, oh my gosh, she has her life together. She already has her kids. I know she can have kids. I know she's successfully done this. And this is subconsciously, because we're always looking at who can make our babies subconsciously. We don't think about them where we actually know we're thinking about it, but we're always thinking about who can make our babies. So they're already seeing that these women are making babies and they're successful with it. So they're like, oh my gosh, that's hot. So then you get the younger men that like the older women.
I completely agree. I was one that was looking when I was younger, like, what can this older woman teach me that this younger woman cannot teach me? And now that I've adapted more, it's like, now what can I teach this younger woman that these young boys can't teach her? I got to put some game on her, let her know what's going on. That the world isn't all sunflowers and daisies. I got some hardships here too, but are you willing to stick it out? And most younger women are more likely to stick it out because they want to see what they can learn from you.
Absolutely. 100%. And sometimes those relationships don't work out and they're a learning experience, and you find out that, hey, I don't like the older generation and I'm going to stick with people my age, and that's okay, because we fall in and out of love with at least 3 people in our life. And sometimes we never get to that second or third person because that first person just is it. But most people fall in love with 3 people in their life. The
Yep.
one that the
When
one
all
that really hurts them, and then the one the learning one, the one that really hurts them, and then the one that is it for real. I agree with you, Justin Jones. Lack of understanding what works for one relationship might look strange to outsiders, so they assume it's wrong and they judge because it doesn't work for them.
I agree there too. Finding out what works for you is what makes you unique and what attracts people to you, because your uniqueness is goes a long way, and it's like having a different type of aura surrounding you and who you are, and it's completely different from other people's perspectives. I'd have to say, I saw a comment earlier where they said younger girls like bigger guys. I'm gonna have to say, I don't know about that one. It's really what whatever they prefer.
I don't think there's a certain preference. I think I see it in all aspects of people. I won't say that bigger people do it more, smaller people do it more. I won't say that, same sex relationships happen more often than heterosexual relationships. But it does happen in same sex relationships also, where, one partner is older than the other. But I think that's also, there's just less availability, and I don't want to sound harsh about it. There are more heterosexual people in this world, so there are less available options out there for same-sex couples, and I think we see it maybe just a little bit more within same-sex couples of the age gap. But I think it's more acceptable when it comes to same-sex relationships with an age gap than if it was a heterosexual relationship. And I think it's more acceptable because we know that the pool is smaller. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I'm saying that as in seeing it happen. All right.
Gregory, I wanted to elaborate on your comment there. You said dating very older than you can be boring at times. Well, that's the reason they're looking for you. They're looking for you to bring the fun, and they're going to supply it for you. They're going to supply the things you need for you to bring the fun. So you got to look at it from a different scope, brother.
I don't necessarily think that they're boring. I think that's what they're looking for too. I don't and if they're becoming boring, then they won't last. as long as communication is there, I don't think they become boring. I think there is a lot more of the older person wanting to lounge around and hang out and all of that. And that's why that younger person is actually looking for that relationship, because they're looking for that calm. They've had that storm of a relationship with a younger person, maybe their age, and they're looking for that calm in that storm of the previous relationship. They want to be able to stay at home and not go out and party every weekend. So I don't think it's so much as being boring and not liking the same music or anything like that. I think it's more of that's what they're looking for. Unless it's something that you're familiar with and it's happening in your relationship, I don't see that happening very often. I agree with you, Jones. Some folks judge because they're low key jealous. I do agree with you because they see how happy that couple is. And we get it a lot too within our relationship. The judgment and people talking shit about us because we are happy. And I'm just like, I can't help that, you know, and it's not something that I go around and brag about, but it's just, why do we have to be worried about other people's happiness when we need to worry about our own? It irritates me so bad when people are judgmental like that, because honestly, the only person you should be worried about is yourself. You should not worry about how somebody else's relationship is going. It irritates me so much.
And as far as people that are in these relationships that see people are jealous of you, don't let that affect your relationship. I know a lot of people tend to, overthink about how someone is perceiving their relationship. You shouldn't let that affect the way you act in your relationship. Yeah, you might be dating a younger woman, but that is your prerogative. That is not theirs. They can have a say all they want, freedom of speech, but ultimately it depends on what you are thinking and what you are feeling. Let that control how the relationship goes. I love the love doctor in the conversation here. Joustin Jones. Dr. Jones in the building today.
Right? Okay. So we're talking about other people judging us, but we haven't hit on family yet.
Hmm.
And that is where it becomes a bit, not necessarily a bigger issue, because it should not affect your relationship of what your family thinks about it. And this is kind of what I'm going to say is, if you and your partner are happy and your kids are happy, you guys you're doing a blended family maybe. As long as everybody that lives in the home, the direct home where the relationship is happening, as long as that unit is happy and fine, everybody else outside of that home's opinion does not matter, including your sister, your mother, your brother, your cousin, the neighbor down the street. None of those other opinions matter, because as long as that family unit, that happy family unit that you've created in that home is happy, then nobody else should matter. And if you are allowing other people to cross judgment on your situation and you are taking that to heart, you need to look at yourself. You need to look at your relationship, because there's something underlying that is causing the issue. Because the judgment shouldn't affect you and how you feel about your relationship. And that's my honest opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Mia. There is a certain time where you seek the family's approval, and that's before you get married. But even still, at that point, you guys have already come to a agreement where that you guys love each other enough that even if your family doesn't approve of it, you're still going to go through with your relationship. You shouldn't look for the family's approval in the beginning stages of your relationship where you're simply trying to figure it out. That shouldn't sway your decision on whether or not you should be with someone. You should be able to make that decision maturely on your own, because ultimately it's your decision you have to live with.
It's your life. It's your future. I always tell my kids and anybody else that may ask, it's you're investing in. It's not others that you need to invest in. As long as you're investing in yourself and your partner, I don't see an issue with it. I may not always like who you date, but I'm never going to have an opinion on it, because as long as you're happy and you're in love, that's all that matters. I may not like every person my children date. I may not like the people that they marry, and I'm not saying that's the case, but that I have 5 kids. That's a possibility. There might be one out there that I don't like. And I would never not approve of them. I don't understand the seeking family approval of who I'm going to marry and who I'm going to be with. That's not something I ever did. That's not something that I asked my children to do. Um, I think that is allowing somebody to create problems within your relationship before it even starts, when you're seeking approval. The only person's approval that matters is yours, because you're going to be the person that's living with them. You're going to be the person that has to deal with their little quirks that get on your nerves. You're going to be the person helping clean up and grocery shopping and paying the bills together. Your mom's not coming over and doing all of those things with your partner. Your sister's not doing that. And I know for damn sure your brother's not coming over to help out. So, I mean, really, why are we even seeking approval from anybody else? I don't find that aspect necessary in life. We should never seek approval from anybody for anything at all. We should just be us and be happy with who we are and our decisions that we make. Yes, we can ask for advice, but approval is never necessary.
Yeah, I've always been one to question, why we needed the father's blessing in a marriage. I mean, of course, like the traditional wedding, they say that the wife's parents, well, dad pays for the wedding, but I think we've gotten away from that, and I think nowadays we are looking for love to surface before we get the family's approval. And that is what is most important. You have to find your love and be able to communicate with your love very effectively before you can even take them home to papa and mama.
And I mean, if you're taking them home before 3 months, you're crazy, anyways. I honestly, it takes 3 months to really truly get to know somebody. I mean, you're going on dates and you're learning all of their little quirks, and you're finding out if you even like this person. Why are you bringing them home to meet mom and dad before you know if you actually like them and you want to be with them? I don't ever think that it's necessary to bring every person that my children date home to meet me. I don't think that's necessary at all. I would never ask that. I don't want to know, to be honest with you. I don't see the point. And 3 months. Come on, guys. Let's be real.
I love this comment we just got. Love don't check ID cards.
That's right. It don't. It don't check ID cards. You're meeting people at bars. You're meeting people online. You're not going to know their age until probably the third date.
If even then.
If even then, that first date is the I get to know you, but are you really asking their age? Are you really asking how many sexual partners? We don't do that, even though those are the things that we should be asking. The potential was there because we liked this person. And if we plan on pursuing a relationship with this person in any aspect, friendship or whatever, we don't ask how many sexual partners they've been with. Of course, if we just plan on being friends with them. But if there's even a thought in my head, and I'm not dating, but if there was even a thought in my head that I might have sex with this person before I even meet them in person, I want to know how many not necessarily how many sexual partners, but if they've been tested. Because who really waits till the second date to have sex anymore? I want you to show me your test results on that first date. Why aren't we doing that? You're smiling about this and you're like, I don't know about all that.
I'm laughing in my head because I remember this video I saw of a guy and a girl who had sex, and their body count was written on their forehead, and it was a hypothetical where it was like, what if our body counts were written on our forehead? Would that change the way you feel about people, and would that change you having sex with them that night? I mean, if you're drunk, you can't read numbers right. So you might think 300 is three. So you know, I don't think it should affect how you really feel about someone.
I don't think I don't think we should be asking body count. The only thing that we should need to know is if they were protecting themselves and if they have any diseases that are communicatable. It's are you gonna give me something if we sleep together? I don't give a shit how 50 people behind me were. I want to know how our relationship is going to happen now. There is so much happening with relationships now, and people are not waiting till the third, fourth date to have sex. The people these days have so many more sexual partners that we can't care about that anymore. People aren't saving themselves for marriage anymore, and that's okay. It's okay to have multiple sexual partners, and I will not say that it's a bad thing, because honestly it's just an interview to see if it's going to work out. Because sex is important for us to be happy. If we are not sexually satisfied, our mental health is not okay. And I know there are people out here that don't have sex, and that's okay. Their mental health is doing great because they've never done it before. But honestly, if your sexual health and your mental health go coincide together. So if you're not having a good sex life, your mental health is going to be horrible, because you're like, oh my gosh, my partner can't make me whatever. What's wrong with me? When really it's the partner, because we didn't interview them before we started a relationship with them. It's okay to have sex on the first date. It's okay to have sex with a one night stand and fall in love with the one night stand. We shouldn't be judging people on how many sexual partners they have, especially if you're dealing with an age gap relationship, because then you're like, okay, well, I'm 20 something and I've only had 3 partners, but my partner is now 45 and he's had 27 partners. Girl, that's experience. Be okay with it.
Yeah, you're gonna learn something that night.
I
You're gonna
mean,
learn
we don't
today.
find out what we like until we try it, and we are taught that we like it.
Yes, yes. I love this comment that Joustin said. He said, if she's 25 and he's 45, that's their Wi-Fi connection, not yours.
That's right. It is their Wi-Fi connection. If they're living together, if not, they got separate.
Unless they're in the club together.
So we don't need to seek our family approval at all, do we, TJ?
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so either.
Now, I got a question for you. Is it wrong for older people to be in the club looking for love?
No,
No.
no. They know what they want. Absolutely. Nope. Man, would you be mad if you showed up to the club and I was there?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, me, you're a different subject. I would say, like, if you had like someone that was like, I don't know, on crutches, maybe I'd be like, maybe then I'd be like, you probably shouldn't be here. The nursing home's the other way, but you're still young at heart, so I think I could surprise you being in the club. But if I'm gonna break your toe by stepping on it in the club on accident, I don't know about that one.
Gregory, we never said we were looking for love in the club. We just looking for a good time. Honestly, nobody goes to the club to look for love. They just go to look for a good time for one night or two, maybe. And that's okay. Go have fun. But honestly,
I think Gregory was quoting Ed Sheeran there. That's hilarious.
oh,
No, but he totally agrees with you, and I do too.
but like I'm 40. I'm gonna be 42 in a couple weeks. I wouldn't want to go to a club, but I could see people giving me dirty looks for walking into the club. being an older person, especially this young generation, because they're like, ew, cringy. Yeah, my kids tell me that all the time. Mom, you're so cringy.
Well, see, the thing is about me, I'm not looking for your age at the club.
Right.
I'm looking to see if you are appealing to the eye. So I think being 42 or even 32 or 22, you will still pass.
Okay. Thank you.
You are okay.
Clubs aren't just for young people, they're social spaces, and everyone has the right to look for love where they feel comfortable. Yes, Wizzy, I agree 100%. There is no age on club. Just like I was asked the other day, when are you going to start acting your age? You want to know what my response is? I don't know. I just turned this age today. No,
Right.
there is no age on anything except for maybe the little rides at the amusement parks. Don't get on them if you're older. You might get sick and get dizzy.
I still ride the teacups now.
Those aren't little rides. I'm talking about like, Dumbo the elephant, the
I got you.
ones that just go like this.
Well, oh gosh, I missed what I was about to say. Oh, well, Nicolette said, "What matters isn't age, but intention," and I truly respect that answer. That is correct. What truly matters is your intentions. What are you hoping to get out of the relationship that you are pursuing?
I agree. Age doesn't matter. That's what we're going over today. Age does not matter, guys, not one bit. If you want to go out and sleep with somebody 10 years younger than you, do it, as long as they are not a minor. Do it, have fun. We're only here once, honestly, and we should always make it a good time, truly. TJ?
Yeah, for all my 50-year-olds, if you want to go out clubbing with me, come and meet me downtown DC U Street. We could set up that time. I love going to 30 and older clubs. Let's go.
Wait, they have clubs that are aged?
Well, I think that they go to more like prominent clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like the richer clubs. You know where you can't get a drink less than $10.
Oh, okay. So the more sophisticated clubs are where, nah, I wouldn't be going to, I'm not that type of person. I'd be going to the club where you can shake your booty. That's the one we go to for sure. All right, guys. It's been an awesome week about talking about the generation gap, the age gap, and our age gap relationships. I can't wait until next week. It's going to be super juicy. And if we did not get to your question today, go ahead and send us an email to tangled at ld3productions.com. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
violin sings as the credits roll. A melody soft, it soothes the soul. Tangled heartstrings,